My big fuzzy balls. Sorry.
I'll show you my key. I I used to do farmers markets and then they had alpacas. See my little,
Oh, yes,
it's
I
a
love it.
keychain
I
made of
love it.
alpaca fur, so it's like super soft.
Oh, I love it. It reminds me kind
Nice.
of like those rabbit tail things.
I kind of don't want to use it because I don't want to ruin it, you know? So it's just sort of like something I look at and feel once in a while.
Yeah, I bet that would be hard to clean.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
How's
Um,
everybody?
do we know if anybody else is planning to come? I know it's just, what is it? It's not even 12 yet, but here anyway. But I guess I'm asking you, Carrie. Do you
Hmm.
know if anybody else is planning to come or you don't know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think I invited Lana,
Yeah.
and I don't think
Oh,
she's gonna join. And then I invited Bree. But if Bree comes, she is just gonna like listen and be off
that's
camera.
fair. That's
Yeah,
fine. Yeah.
dipping her
Um,
toes in. Also, she's a dog groomer, so it'll be really loud if she's at work.
oh, okay.
So
All right. I mean,
her ass could be
I'll,
on mute.
yeah. Okay. All right. Sounds
Mhm.
good. But we might
But
as well go ahead.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. She's looking for like just to that little community aspect. So we'll
Yeah.
welcome her gently.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If she
Yeah.
comes.
Okay. All right. All right. Sounds good. But why don't we go ahead and start? And then, if anybody does join, then we'll just fill them in.
Okay.
And this is very exciting. I mean, I know. All right. So we'll start with a little introduction in case somebody's watching the recording, because I know you all know this, but I'll say it anyway. Um, and I'm Tanya Cole-Lesnick. I am a personal growth coach. I was a psychotherapist for about 30 years before transitioning completely into the coaching world. Um, and partly because I love doing sort of things that are a little bit therapy adjacent, therapeutic. And I think we can get just as much from those experiences as we can from therapy. The connection is so powerful. I've done personal growth book clubs over the years back in the day when I did those things in person, like one at Barnes and Noble. So this is such a treat and a pleasure for me. And Miss Carrie is now
Hi.
my co-leader, which I'm really excited about. So, Carrie, can you just start with your regular intro and then we'll get into what Carrie cooked up for the group.
Yes, well, my dog wants to introduce herself if you can hear her. I'm sorry.
I
But
can
I'm
hear her.
okay, good. I'm Carrie and I'm excited to be here. This will be the first like official time where I'm like co-hosting. So you may see me talk just like a little bit more, but I'm definitely gonna let handle Tanya handle the good juicy stuff. But I'm excited to be here. I love reading. I've always liked reading. I think my mom forced it upon me a little bit, but I love that she did because I've really gotten a lot of, as kind of the title of this is stories and screens, like a lot of stories and learned to kind of like a lot of life lessons. And I've worked with Tanya for a few years now, so I'm excited to have this new step and kind of be a part of a book club. I was talking
Yeah.
to people. I was like, "Oh, I have a co-host. Like, I have to host a book club tomorrow." So I'm really excited to be here.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
And today is special, really, because Carrie and I were talking about, well, we always talk about what are we going to do for the next time. And Carrie and I were talking about it. And I don't know where it started, but we talked about poems. And so, Carrie, I think you're a poem fan. Is that fair to say that you really, and you've written some of your own? So, both.
Yes, definitely. So I don't even know where I got into like poetry. Maybe it was like a creative writing stuff in high school and just I think short stories and poems are a little bit easier to write or like short stories. So I think for my creative writing side, I really like leaned into the short stories and then poetry. So the stuff that we'll go over today is very like, and we called it poems and quotes because it is like poems and they're short. but poetry can be like that little short stuff. And so you'll see I'm inspired and I brought a few visual aids. So this
Ooh.
is the cover of he has written a lot of poetry books. What R.M. Drake,
Oh,
with
yeah,
Art
yeah, yeah.
Robert M. Drake. He had kind of peaked like, I don't know, maybe like 2016 era, maybe
Mm.
a little bit before. But definitely you can see some inspiration. And of course I picked the wrong visual. This one
Yeah.
is like long form. But if I grabbed another one, which maybe I will in a sec, you'll see that my own poetry book was kind of like visually inspired by some of his own things.
Ah, ah,
So
ah.
we pulled a couple of quotes, not only from that author, but my little teeny tiny poetry book, and then also my lover, long lost lover, Abraham Lincoln.
Yes.
I had to throw him in here.
Of course.
And
Yes.
I brought a visual aid for Abe.
Yeah.
So anywho, that's yeah,
Yeah.
where we got here. Tanya, I think you were like, well, let's do your poetry. I was like, huh,
Yeah.
that's a good
Which is
idea.
very exciting. So I feel like today is kind of Carrie's baby. And of course, we're going to do this together, but
Yeah.
Carrie really put all the content together. So why don't we start with
Sure.
the intro that we all get to do?
Okay, cool. And then I will share my screen eventually, Tanya, so that we
Yeah,
can
I
go
just
through
gave you
the stuff.
permission.
Sweet. So we'll go through this stuff together. But yeah, let's start with our intros.
And
Do you?
you texted me your idea.
Oh, yes. Okay, so the question I had, thank you. I need to jog my
Yeah.
memory. I
I can
think it
go. Do you
was
want me to
like,
find it?
no, I don't
Oh,
think I
you got it?
did. Yes. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I had everything else ready except for this.
All good. All
Okay.
good.
So I so our introductions, which we all know each other by now, but just in case anyone, and we do upload this to YouTube, and maybe
Mhm.
someone is curious, our names, and then where we're kind of calling in from, and then the question that we're going to go over, our little icebreaker question, is: was there ever a time that you felt lost, but it felt kind of good or exciting? So like maybe you felt lost and maybe like, oh, I don't know, like this is anxious, it feels heavy. Was there ever a time maybe where you felt lost, but in a good way?
Mhm.
So we can stew on that. I can go first if anyone else. If
Do it.
Okay,
Go
cool.
ahead.
So I it was probably like right before I graduated college. And so I felt like I had like a lot of opportunities. I was already getting like interviews like before I even graduated, which was really exciting for me. And it was like in Chicago. So I felt like, oh yes, I get like my big girl job in the city. Like, you know how you guys live close to New York? That's
Hmm.
like kind of like our like the city,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? So it
Yeah.
felt really good. And I felt like I don't know what the hell is happening next. Like, but it felt like that was such a good loss. Like, I'm
Mm.
just gonna let things kind of wash, to shore, like the waves
Yeah.
come in and what comes out, like, and what's left. I'm just gonna do that. And it felt like really exciting. But I have
Yeah.
felt lost in a way that hasn't felt. And we'll see that today actually with one of the quotes.
Ah, yeah.
So
Yeah. Nice.
yeah,
Yeah. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Who else? Lori, you ready? Oh,
Yeah.
you don't
Ooh.
have one. Oh.
Well, my name's Lori. I'm Carrie's mom, and I am in Paragould, Arkansas. So it's kind of like half my life was here, half my life was Indiana, and now I'm back for another half. So anyway, I think when you guys mentioned that, I think feeling lost was when I decided to leave Indiana and move to Arkansas.
Mhm.
Mm.
Hard decision for me to do because I was leaving my children
Mm.
Ah.
where I raised my children. I was leaving everything that I knew for all those years. And so, but it ended up being, even as nervous as I was, I knew that I was coming back to be living where I was loved.
Mm-hmm.
I'd gone through personal things, not good personal things, and I needed security, I think, again. I just wanted to I don't know. I just wanted the unconditional love, which my older sister, the one that,
Mm,
but she was here, and she always made me feel home. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that was scary,
Mm-hmm.
but it was also comforting. So I call it like my bittersweet. Just
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm just thinking of like when something is so hard, if you have a vision of it still feels in alignment and right, then it feels like, okay, like this is a leap of faith, but I believe it, and I'm just going to keep going through the hard because I know that there's something waiting for me. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Love
Yeah.
that. Jamie, do you have something?
Well, I'm Tanya's sister, and I'm calling in from Northern Virginia, or outside of Washington, D.C. So I'm in Aldie, Virginia. And, um, what I didn't know, of course, what topic you guys were going to suggest, although I think you emailed something with the question also. But it's a good question, and there there's been several times in my life that I have felt lost. And I think the one that sort of stuck out was one longer ago than more recently that I think about was I was working when I graduated from college. I went and worked in advertising in New York City for 4.5 years. And one of my last employers had had to have layoffs. They were downsizing and they were merging, and there was all kinds of things. So I had lost my job, and I was a freelancer for a little while, but it wasn't really sustainable. So I changed my career, and I learned of the Little Gym, which was a franchise business that I ended up becoming a franchise owner, and I did that for 25 years. And
Oh.
my dad was a silent partner at first in the business. It eventually got more involved. But my I grew up in Chevy Chase, Maryland, and my parents were living in DC. And one kind of, with my dad being a partner in the business, he was like, "Well, it needs to be drivable from DC if you're gonna, become a franchise owner." So I moved back home with my parents for a short time and decided to open my franchise in Virginia. So, and that's how I met my late husband and started. In the end, we had 3 franchise locations. So it ended up being. I felt lost, and then it became a positive thing. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that story.
mhm.
Also,
Carrie,
I didn't know
what
that.
got you? Something really got
I
you.
don't know. I just feel like, first of all, I didn't know I learned new things about you today, which I love learning. And I've known you now, Jamie, for also a couple years. So I love hearing that about you. But also, like, how you kind of naturally, okay, let things kind of unfold. But then it also brought you to meeting your husband. Like, and that's something like, that I don't want to put like weight on romantic love. That's not everyone's goal. But I mean, what a beautiful thing to come out of, and 3 franchise owners. Go off, girl.
Mm.
Like, go off. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
You're
Mm.
welcome.
And for me, it really is now that I'm going through the loss of my husband. Unfortunately, Jamie and I both have gone through that. Um, and definitely like a huge next chapter I was not anticipating. I wasn't planning for. It was not at all on my agenda. So many things are like different than from that, are different than I expected. I never thought I would move and leave this house because my husband and I loved it. And we talked a lot about, what we would do to it and that kind of thing. And I'm in process now of clearing it, getting ready for what's next, but I'm really starting to have some glimpses, some light at the end of the tunnel, just following what feels fun to me, like really following fun and connection. I mean, like I'm learning canasta, the card. I do feel like a retired lady now, even though I'm not retired, but yeah. I'm learning canasta. I'm gonna learn mahjong and um what was the other thing that's Oh, I'm doing square dancing because somebody
Mm.
in my hiking group posted about this square dancing thing. And so a bunch of us in the hiking group are going to do square dancing because they do like a free couple of things to try and get you hooked. So you'll buy like a year of classes or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't even know if I like square dancing. I did it when I was in sixth grade. So we shall see. I'll let you know. But it's kind of fun to know I don't really know where I'm going to land. And whereas before I felt like I knew, even though we don't really know. But yeah, so
Good.
yeah.
I like
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Let us know. I'm so excited.
Yes, I will
Dance
let
can be
you
like a
know.
really good movement, you know?
It could be
Love it.
fun. I mean, what I like about square dancing is they call out tell you what to do. So it's like you're always told what you need to do next. So I don't have to memorize it.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah.
That's
So,
exciting.
so now does everybody have the poems printed out, or would it be helpful to? Oh, Carrie, you wanted to share screen
I can
anyway.
screen
Oh,
share.
okay.
Yep. I
Yeah.
can screen share. So I can go ahead and do that. So while I'm doing that, and Jamie, I know you mentioned that, which is totally fine. We never care or expect anyone to do homework before. But if anyone did anything like stick out? Did any quote or poem or anything stick out to you? And I'll go ahead and share. And if we need a little memory, can everyone see okay?
I think for me, I think you did a beautiful job, Carrie, of like taking us through a journey with it. Like there's sort of this beginning and then these different ways things play out. So I really enjoyed that part of it. You have these great questions, and I didn't think of answers because I thought I'm going to just see what comes up when we talk in our group. So
Same.
that's the
Me
only
too.
thing, though, that I was really struck by was like the journey of it, which I really loved.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you picked up on that. I did do that intentionally. And so, um, Larry, Mom, did you have anything
about
that you
your
we'll go ahead like well, you can share when we go through my stuff. But anything that kind of stuck out in general, other than that you love my writing and I'm the best person
well, out. Well, I love writing. You're
ever. Oh
right,
my gosh, she said, well,
but no, but I'm just like it's not. It really, it isn't even probably not even relevant right now. But when I open this, I'll share because I like to share with my
share, girl, share it.
Share.
friend this Carrie's book and a cute little picture. But she put to my biggest support no matter what I do, and I'm like, I'm glad she knows that. I'm glad
Mm.
that, and it says Carrie 2022. Anyway, that's fun. I'm like, oh my gosh, I
Aw, I
I'm
love that.
quiet, but I feel.
right.
Aw.
Yes.
Yes, don't mistake the quietness for
No.
disconnection.
Yes,
Not that
and that's
anybody
actually
gets.
a really good lead into this next one, not because of the theme of this, but because
Mm.
Abraham Lincoln was kind of stoic or like melancholic, he was labeled, or like aloof and cold.
Mhm.
We're also, he and I are both Aquarians, so I don't know if anyone likes astrology, but that's kind of an interesting thing. But he was deeply felt things. And he has a lot of writing. There's a lot of writing on Abraham Lincoln. And Jamie, I'm so jealous that you live next to DC so you can see him large
I
and in charge.
I saw this huge
Mm.
there's a portrait museum right across from the where the Capitals play, and
Oh,
I there was like this larger than life. I was on the phone and I was like, I gotta take a picture for Carrie, but I didn't end up taking a picture, but it was like this banner thing hanging down from the building.
oh,
And I was
stop.
like, oh my gosh, we have to have Carrie come to DC. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I would love it. I would love it.
Carrie,
Absolutely.
did I take a picture of the bust that Jamie has in her house of Abraham Lincoln? Okay. I thought that
I
I did. Yeah.
Yep. Love it so much. I now have been gifted 3 in total. I'm so excited about it. So this one, and I want to start this one with, I am not gaslighting anyone's mindset, and we'll get into that. So
Mhm.
this one is most folks are as happy as they make their minds up to be. which my first takeaway when I thought about this is yes, like mindset, over matter, like whatever, you just got to power through life. And I think a lot of people would take that away. I don't like, that's why I wanted to
Mm,
start it with that grain of salt.
mm,
But I see it as like, and mom, you actually kind of taught me this is like control what you can,
yeah.
almost like if you ever were taught like the serenity prayer, right?
Totally. I love the Serenity Prayer.
Mm-hmm.
For I know often it's used in AA meetings, but I think it's so perfect for the idea of therapy or counseling. Yeah.
Yeah, because there are some things that are like outside of your control. So that was my takeaway from this little bit of Abraham Lincoln lore and writing.
Yeah.
Not that like, so yeah, anything else from the
Do
group?
you know the Serenity Prayer, Carrie? Can you say it, or I can if you don't?
Go ahead, because I
I
think
think
I'll
it's
chop it up.
God grant me the serenity to know wait to wait to change the
I
things
feel
I
like my,
can. Now I always butcher it.
Okay.
Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There's another word I missed in the middle, but that's the gist. Yeah. Yeah, which I love.
yep, exactly. Yep.
Oh, the sir, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That was the word I
Ooh.
forgot, courage. Yeah,
And I do think that courage bit is kind of important too, because sometimes,
totally.
that bit of courage that we were talking about, like feeling lost, like it almost is courageous to be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna like jump in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Um, I think for me, what comes up, I mean, I've been a bit of a one note wonder these days because of the just going through what I'm going through is so huge. There's just so much I'm learning on this journey. So that's what I share a lot these days. But I think going through grieving and nobody would fault me if I felt like I couldn't function and couldn't continue forward in some significant ways. But I feel like I'm going to be here either way, and not to spiritually bypass any of my real feelings. Like my intention is always to sort of connect to what's there, what's real. But I don't know. I got this quote made. I redid my bedroom when Steve passed, and I got this like leather pad for my desk made because I was going to do watercolors on there, but I haven't done any yet. But I put a Maya Angelou quote on there that said, "I will be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it." And I might be
oh,
butchering it a bit. But I think that that's been such sort of the focus for me is like, okay, I'm still here. What speaks to me? And sort of be in that space. So I think that all those different layers go with what you chose there, Carrie.
yeah, awesome. I love that. Thanks for sharing. Does anyone else have any thoughts from this one?
Well, I am not familiar with this quote, so I'm so thrilled that you found, a Abraham Lincoln quote that was, you know, that is part of today because it's Abraham Lincoln is so much an extension of you. Um, but I'm reading like the first one where it's like, where in my life do I believe my happiness depends on something outside of me? And I feel like I live so much for what I'm looking forward to in the future that it's so hard to live in the moment sometimes. So, I just, I don't know. I guess I'm like obsessed with my calendar and I'm always trying to put these little things that I have in the near future to look forward to, where it's so hard for me to plan for the moment. And it's just I am trying to, you know, be a little better at living in the moment. I did a word for 2026 that
Ooh,
a one word event where we actually did a canvas and we painted, and my word was momentum. But then the way I wrote it was moment and then on the bottom line. And it's like in there's mom and then there's moment. And then I went to University of Maryland, so the and then the is also signifies thinking, like so anyway, I don't know what inspired me to bring that up, but just I feel like it's a good reminder of my happiness can't be all reliant on what I'm doing in the near future.
Oh, that's a good point.
Well,
I,
I'm sorry.
no, I like.
Yeah. I was going to say, even the idea of momentum, it can't really happen unless you're getting some traction in the present moment. Like you can't look ahead and have momentum.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I love that. Did you write it momentum on purpose, or did it come up that way and then you started connecting it to different
No,
things?
I wrote it on purpose because we were all sitting there like with our canvases. It was a group thing where you
Uh-huh.
go to these like sip and paint places
Yeah.
and everybody was painting and I was like feeling behind and I sat with it for a little while. And I was
Mm.
like, I just really want to do. And I looked even up the syllables because the syllables aren't correct. Like it's moment and then TUM is another syllable. So then I'm like, okay, it's not grammatically correct to do it that way, but
Oh,
that's
uh-huh.
what's speaking to me. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do it because that's what was speaking to me. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
I love that too. I love the creative process and letting that unfold and
Mm-hmm.
sitting with it just for a second.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Thanks.
I love that. Yep. Okay. So, and mom, I think I saw you shake your head that you don't have anything to share about my boyfriend.
I don't have.
Ah,
I don't have anything. What?
To share about my boyfriend, Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, I because the story that they don't want to hear, but it's just what every time she tried to climb up on his lap and get us arrested.
oh,
Oh.
in DC?
Yeah,
Well, I didn't know I liked Abraham Lincoln that much until I saw the Lincoln
Oh,
Monument. And
really?
then I had big feelings.
she said,
Wow.
that really quick. Can you take my picture? I was like, Carrie, you can't do that. That's all roped off. Yeah, we'll do it really quick. I'm like, girl.
And my brother's like top clearance in the Air Force at the time. Like, I will get him in trouble.
Oh my God.
I was a teenager.
You did it? You did climb up? Oh, I was like, wow, Carrie.
You would have. Oh,
I was like, I want to see the picture.
oh gosh.
One day.
You should
One
get
day.
AI to make a picture of that.
Yes.
Coming up, we'll send that in the review.
I'm just thinking at 101, Carrie's gonna be on.
Yeah.
For real. Literally. And then I'll print it out later. Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on to the next
Yeah.
one then. So this one is by yours truly. So last night I went to bed with the same blanket of darkness I woke up with. So this one I wrote like literally like I was working so much in college. I worked 3 jobs. I was going to school. At one point I literally had to call my mom and be like, "Can you come help me? I have no clean underwear. Finals are coming
Wow.
up." Like I can't. I was sick. So anyway, I remember I was just working, 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 and I was like, one morning I woke up and I was like, "It's the same darkness that I literally just went to bed with." And
Mm.
then I was like, "Oh, but also there's this darkness inside of me that I also at the time went to bed with." And I was like, "Oh." So this one really taps into kind of the opposite of, we're as happy as we make our minds up to be, but this one, like, sometimes things just suck and things are weighted and you feel
Mhm.
like you have that same blanket wrapped around you.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit of insight about this poem. So I don't know. Does anyone have anything? Opening up the floor.
Yeah.
I just feel like with that, how I interpret that. I just when things happen, like life changes. My sister unexpectedly passing, but I always when I go to bed, it felt like somebody had kicked me in the gut.
Mm.
When I was the very first thing I would get kicked in the gut again, and it was just terrible. I just didn't. Oh, it took time, and it's still, but that's how. comforting. It just was like, oh my God, I feel like nothing is right. Nothing's, I just felt sick,
Mhm.
hurt,
Yeah.
physically, mentally, and the whole thing. So that was
Yeah.
my oof. So
Mhm.
So that's you relate to that like feeling. You felt like you just had that kind of weight
yeah, the
all
weight,
the time.
the painful, like physically.
Mhm.
I remember thinking, I'll be so happy the day I wake up that I don't feel like I was hit in the gut. I remember.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
Yeah.
It and
Yeah.
I do think like what this piece I kind of like it was, that same feeling, like the waking up of like that same feeling of the last day, where like maybe
Mhm.
sometimes you wake up and the day feels new. It's like
Yeah.
Annie the
Yeah.
orphan, tomorrow, the sun will come out tomorrow, but sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah. I
good
mean,
point.
I think I relate, Lori, to what you were saying about sort of the grieving part. I tend to feel very, even if I don't sleep great, because I don't always sleep great, but feel pretty reset by the next day. Usually I am sort of start off fairly fresh and I'm usually in a pretty similar mood each morning. It doesn't mean it stays that way, but I often am. But going through something bigger, feeling more lost, feeling more like life is different, like grief, when you wake up, it is still there. So I think that when there's something bigger that feels certainly the grief part, but also like in transition to maybe where things aren't feeling settled yet, especially if there's any sort of physical reminders in the space when you get up. I think that all of that can sort of be part of that waking up that way. And so I think because I don't typically I do feel almost like what you were saying, Lori, about like, oh my God, I can't wait till the day I wake up and I don't feel that way. I'm not used to feeling that way. So then when that happens, I'm like,
you
oh,
know,
yeah, it just feels hard.
yes, good thing. Yeah. Yep.
So
Jamie, do you
for
have any?
me, like, I agree that a lot of times I wake up the next morning, like if I'm in a funk or something, and I'll be like, all right, I was very non-productive today, and I'm just so tired, and whatever. And even if, and and it, I did not sleep well last night at all, but I gave myself permission to wake up a little bit later because I'm like, oh, my head was spinning and I was just couldn't, my thoughts were just going and I kept on picking up my phone and writing notes on my phone and the thing you're not supposed to do when you're trying to sleep. But yeah, I mean, there's times when I've been in a funk and then the next day I'm still in a funk and it, so that's what it made me think of. But hopefully, most of the time I do feel like the next day is, I can take a look at it with a kind of a fresher mind and fresher energy and kind of like, oh, I get a little more focused on like, oh, what it is I need to get done, or not feeling as overwhelmed too sometimes. But I mean, that's a amazing quote, and I want to buy your book.
I know I want to buy. Am I allowed now, Carrie? Carrie
Yes,
said
you're allowed.
yes.
Because some of it's a little, for lack of a better word, a little raunchy. But overall, it's okay. It's nothing in your face. But yes, you can buy it now. But I was like, Tanya, can you just like wait until after like I'm not working with you so much?
Yeah.
Anyway, um,
Um,
but yes, I'll send the link.
oh, thanks.
Yeah, I'll send the link to you guys.
I
Oh,
was I love what you said about, and then I give myself permission to sleep a little later. I love that. Like, yeah, I love that sort of, it doesn't necessarily just automatically happen. It's like, oh, if I'm feeling a blanket of darkness, what do I need actually?
Mm.
So getting some sleep is part of it, if you're lucky enough to get some sleep. And but maybe there are other things that can also help take care of you while you're feeling that blanket of darkness. So
you actually read my mind, Tanya, because I was like, okay, I kind of want to pivot away, like not away from that, right? It's, again, not spiritually bypassing this.
Mm-hmm.
We're not, that's not my intention at all. My intention is actually to nod towards this kind of low parts of the human. But I was going to ask, like, what does, like, maybe we can share and I can go first, what helps us maybe feel a little bit better. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned this in therapy in college. And because I have chronic nightmares. So I wake up with what I call like a nightmare hangover. And like, I just can't like seem to like ground myself. Sometimes I actually have a hard time knowing what's real and what's not, which is really trippy. So, you talk therapy, you might tell, but I'm a very good candidate for talk therapy. So I learned this. But so my therapist was like, well, what do you love to do? Right. We just went through those questions. So we established a routine of like every morning I wake up feeling like this little weighted. I would play like 10 to 15 minutes of The Sims. And
What?
The Sims, so a video game that I like
Oh,
just
okay.
so produced like a little bit of endorphins, like good ones. Nice that way when I woke up and it's kind of like a little, I don't know, Tanya, you maybe can speak more to this, but it's just like rewiring
Yeah. Well,
maybe.
you're not the opposite of that might be sort of being in a groove, like the way our brains do wire things. Like if you're repeating a certain thought over and over, then you've got this shorthand groove that can happen very easily. So if you're waking up feeling like this, the blanket of darkness, then you could be in that groove where it's like, oh, however you talk to yourself when you're in that place. And so I think what you're describing is not staying in that place, coming out of it, having this other sort of maybe more relaxed, slower experience that doesn't have that flavor to it. And I think it takes it away from this automatic groove that keeps getting sort of reinforced when you don't do that.
Yep, I think you hit the nail on the head
Yeah,
for sure. Yep.
yeah, yeah.
So I used to always think like one of the things people told me a lot in my whole life is I was my own worst enemy.
Mm.
Mhm.
Oh, when Jamie said you have to allow yourself, I there were so many things that I sit and think that I wasted so much energy in
Mm,
Yes.
that didn't matter. You know, it,
mm,
nobody cared if I had a spot on the rug. Nobody, I mean, just silly
No.
things to other people, but to me it wasn't at the time. And
mhm.
I just I wasted all that time, and I just had to learn that it's okay. I'm okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That that was always part of the waking up with the gut feeling too, is that I had to get to a place where I had to allow myself to get through that so I could get
Yes.
that makes any sense.
Yeah. Even just what you were saying about like really believing you're okay, and that I think sometimes we can be in such a habit of like feeling like things are off and don't feel right, and not that there isn't some truth to it, but we don't necessarily have to stay in there as much as we think we do. And what you were saying about the spot on the rug, like there are things we've all learned that help us feel safe in the world, and a lot of that are things like control and perfectionism and things like that. And that's the whole energetic clutter thing that I talk about all the time. But it's like if that's driving the show, then what does your day look like? If your day is about keeping everything perfect, then it looks a certain way. Whereas if your day is about, what do I need? And taking some breaths and that kind of thing, then it looks very different. Um, or maybe even slightly different, but it can feel very different, even if it doesn't, like it may not make the hugest difference in your behavior, but the way you're moving forward doesn't feel like as desperate energy, kind of like, oh, I have to make this right. And instead, it's kind of like, okay, I'll deal with the spot in a second, but right now I'm going to play another game of Sims or however that works. And
I'm
for,
I'm gonna sew. I'm gonna,
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so sewing is something that makes you kind of feel
yes, sewing is a
okay.
for me.
Oh,
Very
oh, I
nice.
love that. Yeah. And I like knitting, although I haven't done it in a while. I have to get back on my knitting. But
Mhm.
I was gonna say, like you, Carrie, I know you were saying waking up, maybe playing some Sims. I always do my word games in the morning, and that's my little ritual in the morning. So I do some word games, and I love a slow morning. I love
Me
just moving
too.
slowly. I feel
Me
like I
too.
love, and that always helps me feel better when I don't have to rush. I get stressed, like rushing stresses me out. I don't like
Yeah.
to rush. I'll do it. And sometimes, it's fine and I get to, fit in the stuff that I'm trying to fit in. But I don't prefer it and I try not to set my life up that way whenever I can. So taking it slow, especially in the morning, I help feel better when I do that.
Yep.
Me
Good.
too.
Me too. I don't like
Yep.
that.
Me
Yeah.
too. I'd rather wake up just like a little bit earlier to kind of have that time to dilly dally,
Yep.
Mm.
than be rushed because I feel very discombobulated, like extremely. I feel like my head's on a swivel.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Are we ready to move on? Does anyone or Jamie? I feel like do you have anything in mind that like
Yeah,
maybe
just
helps
a,
you feel
a
less rushed?
couple things that I found myself um folding a little laundry and putting some things away from the floor of my closet this morning. And then I also made myself a smoothie, which sometimes I don't take the time to do that. And then I started thinking in my head, like, when am I going to go swimming next? Because swimming is like a activity that I really like to do that sort of like lets me be mindless and then I can be just hear the sounds of the water and just feel the water and, you know, just pace myself and all that. And so those were just like three main things that came to mind when we were talking about this.
I love it. I love it. I love swimming. I love that. Do you have a place that you can like go?
I do actually, yeah. And
Oh.
they changed it from a chlorine pool to a saltwater pool. So, and it's really nice and
Oh,
warm too.
oh,
Like they heat it like to a really nice temperature. So, and then there's also a hot tub in the same like kind of right near the pool. So I can even do that.
Hey.
I am
I have
so
no
jealous. I love that.
excuse. I got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's at my gym. So,
So
Ah,
cool.
I didn't know that about swimming in you, James. That's nice.
yeah.
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 Um, I used to always talk about to clients about just do the dishes. Like do the dishes if you're feeling stressed out because similar to what you were describing about the water, I feel like the warm water sort of just and then there's like a sort of beginning, middle, end that you can have a whole little system and it can be if you allow it. Sometimes I know we can dread that kind of thing, but if you kind of let it just be the process, it can be very relaxing. So,
I love that. And I love like a quick win, to make you
mm,
feel like, okay, I was productive today. Like I did
Yeah.
one thing for
yeah,
myself in my
yeah,
home.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep. Okay. Love that. Are we ready to move on? Does anyone have any last thoughts? Okay.
Ready.
So we're moving on here to the author where I showed you with the crazy cover, R.M. Drake.
Mhm.
So he always writes about like this unknown girl. She always felt lost, and it was beautiful not knowing how she would find herself. Which we kind of naturally like got onto that, like maybe with the icebreaker question.
Mhm.
Um, so I don't know. Does anyone have any first thoughts? And we do have some questions if we want to.
Say it again, Carrie.
I sure can. She always felt lost, and it was beautiful not knowing how she would find herself.
Now
So
that's
this,
from the book Beautiful and Damned that you.
you know what? Let me fact check. I don't think I grabbed the right one. I
Well,
think
that's all right. I was curious, but that
I think it's from Beautiful Chaos.
okay.
Yeah, I think it's from that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, sorry. I wanted to. So this character almost in this book, like she's this very like loosey goosey, like not loosey goosey, like in whatever. I'm not even gonna continue with that. But like this laissez faire, like I'm gonna go through life, and like I think maybe we may know some people where he's just like I'm just going through it, but like he found this like very beautiful, like and invigorating and inspiring about this character. Just a note.
Mm,
Hmm.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Well, for me, it's similar to what I said earlier, but I think in that in between, if we're not careful, and by we, I'm really telling myself this, but so many of us join in with this, we can wish the in between away and feel like, oh, this is uncomfortable. This is not fun. I don't like it. Because I can almost go to the opposite where I'm not slowing down. I'm like I'm getting that way a little bit, like clearing my house and stuff. Not really, but like I'm much more into it than I was at the beginning. But if it's too uncomfortable, sometimes we can wish it away and want to be on the other side of it and not be present during some of just the journey that we're on. And so I think for me is maybe not wishing the in between away and sitting in that and knowing it feels a little bit different, but I'm okay. Like what Lori was saying, I'm okay. And yeah, sort of being in that space and then just trusting it that it can still hold me.
Yeah, I also feel too like, I mean, that was one of my things in your book, Carrie, was change is the only thing, something like that. It said change, nothing's set in stone, more or less, or but
Yep, I can find it. Hold on.
I've never been one. I don't, change scares me.
Mhm.
Mm,
I've learned to, at this ripe old age of 67, change is not always bad. Change is
yes.
sometimes.
Mhm.
Most of the time it can end up being, but yeah, the scaredness of going, like for her to be nonchalant, and that would be wonderful, but I never have lived that
Mm.
uh, until I've gotten older. Now I've decided that I'm going to pick my battles, and I'm going to be my own instead of my own worst enemy. I'm going to be my biggest fan.
Yes.
Mm.
That's my goal.
I
Go
love that.
up.
I love
Yes.
that. And that reminds me of the first quote with was it the first one? Or maybe it wasn't the first one, the
Los
Abraham
Polos.
Lincoln one.
Yep.
Um, okay. Yeah, you just said, well, I decided I'm just going to be my own, which isn't
Yes.
happy, but it's about like, I'm going to live this way. I'm going to be my own fan. And I love that. Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
Yep.
it was
I
a
love that too.
temporary change is the only constant. That was in her book, and
Ah,
that's true. So yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
And the just to piggyback on that, like I'm going to be my own biggest cheerleader, you
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
yeah.
Love it.
Yes. Actually, she loves that because my mom was a cheerleader.
I was.
Ah,
Ah.
cheerleader.
So
Mhm.
I think that will ring true in her brain. You should come up with your own chants.
Exactly.
Mhm.
That would be cute. I would definitely be an audience member to see you do your cheer.
Yes.
Maybe we could all have pom poms one time and do our own cheerleading session. Like,
Kind of like the square dancing, but just
yeah,
the
here.
the pom pom version. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of love that. Like if
My heart's
everybody kind
like
of
beating.
wrote their own cheer.
Yeah. I love
I
Free,
it.
love that.
free.
We'll have to brainstorm, Mom, because I don't know any like I know like softball chants.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know nothing, but we could make our own.
We can
Or
make,
AI can help us.
Yeah.
Good old
Yeah, I can
chat.
definitely help us.
we can
Yeah.
be others' biggest fans too. That's
We can.
That's right.
We
That's right.
can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I love it. Who else hasn't shared yet about this one?
Um,
If we want to, we don't have to.
did you, Carrie?
Well, no, actually. I'm going to kind of steal your takeaway a little bit, Tanya, and like remix it. Because sometimes I do find myself like, and it helps me to visualize like life's up and downs, like almost generically like a roller coaster. Like, okay, I just know I'm like kind of in the valley right now, but I know I'm gonna slowly eat like tick, 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 tick. You know how like when you're going up the, and it's like,
Yeah.
am I ever gonna get to the top? Kind of like thinking of, will this ever end? I know I'm gonna hit a peak and I know I'm gonna like get up. So I have been diagnosed with depression. So if that gives anyone some kind of insight of feeling like,
Hmm.
the highs and the lows, I'm like, okay, I know I maybe just in a depressive slump. I may not have any control over this right now, but I know I'm going to slowly get back up there.
Mm.
And I don't, like you said, I never like put words to it, like wishing that time away. But I have thought back previously to places where like I felt low, but like in a weird way, I missed maybe, I don't know, maybe like where I lived, or like, oh, I really liked the layout of that, like, I don't know, my living room at that time, or I really felt cozy in that apartment, or I had great friends at that time, but I was really like, so I felt, I don't know how to explain it. Like I didn't want to wish it away because there was good things in it,
Right.
but I just
Right.
know it
There's
kind of
other
sucked.
layers to it. It's not
Yeah.
only that. And then
Yeah.
you lose it all if you wish it away. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it kind of took yours a little bit.
But like a real trust in the universe, like a real trust in, okay, I get it. Like the, or not the, yourself really, your own like rhythm
Yeah.
and saying, okay, I see how this works. And being able to trust that when you're not experiencing it is huge. I feel like people really struggle with that. So amazing that you got to the point where you're like, okay, like I'm here, I know how this goes, and kind of because it my sense is because of that trust, then it doesn't dysregulate you or throw you off quite as far when you're going
Mhm.
through it.
Yes, yeah, and actually, like, it's weird that, like, almost a page after or before that poem, and I'll, like, shorten it, but I said, having lack of plans means having a faith in destiny, trust in life. So,
Mm.
and it really was actually through, like, not to get, like, super woo-woo, but through, like, this spiritual awakening, but came through, like, a deeply dark episode in my
Mhm.
life, where
Mhm.
I think I lost, like, 15 friends in high school, and it was
Wow.
just like weird as hell. And I
Yeah.
was really
Yeah.
faced with my own mortality, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even as sucky as that was, I mean, I still liked some aspects of my life.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. And the fact that you grew from it, is huge.
Exponential
Yeah.
growth there in
Yeah.
that dark moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did
So.
everybody go? Or Jamie, do you have anything you want to share?
Nothing new.
Nothing. You're so funny. Nothing new.
I mean, like
Okay.
similar to what I already said. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally understand.
yeah,
So we'll get, and we just have two last ones here, and we're just coming up on 9 minutes left, and I just want to be
Oh, perfect.
respectful of everyone's time. So I think we're doing good. So
Yeah.
this is again from R.M. Drake. I do think it's still from Beautiful Chaos. I'll double check though,
Mm,
Jamie. So, oh sweet child, but we are all lost here. So close those eyes and follow where your heart leads.
mm,
I love this one. Tapping into that, yeah, the thematical, thing of feeling lost. But we're all just, I like that he said sweet child. We're all
mm,
just kind of children, right? Like at the end of the day, we were children born onto earth. Whether or not we chose to come, who knows? But we're
mm.
all lost here, so we just have to follow where our heart leads, as he said.
Yeah.
It's
So,
kind of like ever, like my loss, being lost is different than your being lost.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a great takeaway.
Yeah.
It's the same, but we're all in lost.
Right.
Love it.
Yeah.
Learn you. I think we need to learn to appreciate someone else's loss. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
don't. I want to validate your being lost too. It's not the same as my,
Yeah.
but it's valid. My,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like it's like we're all,
Oh, yeah.
does that make sense? What I'm
Yeah, totally. I love that. And I'm just thinking so much work that I've done with clients over the years is when people lose sight of the fact that we're all kind of making it up as we're going along and we're all just figuring it out. Sort of the stories that so many of us tell ourselves about other people is that they're not lost. They're not I'm lost, but they're not lost. And I think just to help us all when Zarna came to
Yes.
our book club. Lori, unfortunately, did you miss that one or did you come in the end?
getting eye injections.
Oh, right, right. But one of the things that she said is like, who knows? Nobody knows. And I love just sort of the freedom in that is like, oh, we're giving other people way too much credit and to
Yeah,
really just know that we're all just figuring it out and doing the best we can. But yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
Back around for my is like we can still. I'll be your cheerleader, but I can still be my own cheerleader.
Mhm.
Not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm gonna validate you as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And not to sort of judge what somebody else's version of a lost is because it's all sort of so layered. So, yeah.
Yep. I remember in therapy, I had my first like talk therapy. I had one of those aha moments, as they call it, light bulb moments. I was sharing about the loss of a lot of my friends passing away. And this was before my best friend passed away. So when that happened, compounded it. But because I had got diagnosed with PTSD. And I was like, well, that just doesn't make sense to me because I haven't gone through anything traumatic. And
Mm,
my therapist was, yeah, that she was like, why are you like minimize just because you didn't see combat or
right.
that maybe wasn't the example, but I think that's what I was like internalizing. Like
Mm,
I didn't realize at the time that, you know, you could be diagnosed with
yeah.
PTSD
Yeah.
and not be a war vet, which is I
Yeah.
know very bad of me. But anyway, she said don't minimize your stuff, but then it also made me think of everyone else's struggles, right? Like
Mm,
it's different.
yeah.
It's different, but it feels as heavy to that person,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, for sure. For
Mm.
sure. Yeah.
So the things I think about are when I was in massage therapy school, I always felt like everyone was better than I was. And it just, and they were all going through it with me too. Some had different experience. So it was we weren't all coming from the same place. But I remember also hearing a story of a massage therapist who was blind. And it just was thinking about that, like close your eyes and feeling like your other senses get heightened.
Yeah.
And also just even with massage therapy school, because sometimes I had a difficult time like feeling where the muscles were, or, feeling like a technique that I should do based on the direction of the muscle and things like that, that like yeah, if you can just close your eyes and like have your other senses get heightened. But also the other thing that I just remember so kind of really sat with me was or whatever spoke to me was trusting the process. So just like, the learning and you'll get there. Like it's just there people might not get there on the same path exactly, or even grief is not linear, so it just is very different for each individual person. So it's just like trusting the process, trusting yourself, and um, just knowing that like if you're just letting it even have time to sit with it too.
Yeah. I love that mantra. You'll get there. Yeah. That little reminder. You'll get
Mm.
there. Yeah.
Love it. So are we ready to go on to the last one group?
I
Does
believe
anyone have?
so.
Okay, I'm really not great at tracking who shared, so please forgive me.
Doing great, Carrie.
Thank you. Okay, so this is from Robert Frost. He wrote that poem, which I should the two lanes. What is it? Two two paths are in front of you. Something one's a fork.
Oh, yeah. The
I
road
know which
less
one.
less
Yes,
traveled. Yeah.
thank you. Yes,
Is that right?
yes, the path,
Yeah.
something, the road. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is that author. I'll go ahead and read it. The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow, has given my heart a change of mood. Visually, I interpret this one. He's walking through, whoever's walking through, and they was like, damn, a crow just got snow on me. Like, what the hell?
Mm.
And then this ellipsis to me is very like telling in poetry. So it's like pause, right? An intentional pause. Like we've kind of been talking about. Then
Mm-hmm.
he almost decided I has given my heart a change of mood.
Mm.
So this one with the reflection question, I like this one. What small moment has shifted my mood or outlook? Like maybe there was something like the other day I was driving. Here's my example. I was driving and I was in like a weird blah mood. You know, I'm on my period, whatever. But I saw this dog just like walking so happily, bouncy, bouncy, bouncy,
Aw.
bouncy. And the way it was perfectly in tune with my music that I was
Aw.
playing. And I was like, you know what? That actually, that was my crow moment.
Uh,
Like that was
that's
really cute.
so cute.
Yeah.
So cute.
Right. Oh.
Mm.
Mm.
Well, I'll jump in. For me, sometimes small moments are not so small, right? So one moment that I had was more towards depth, and that was when I was sort of folding up or putting some of my husband's clothes to save for family members, and also some in bags to donate, and just that process of putting the clothes in a bag felt very deep and sort of painful, but like I didn't expect it. Like I was just doing it. And then all of a sudden it occurred to me what a big moment it was, even though sort of the act of folding, or I don't think I folded, the act of throwing it in. Actually, I did fold for the family, and for the donations, I don't think I folded. Huh, interesting. But anyway, yeah, I think that semi small moment was actually a big moment. So I think that can certainly happen. Um, but then I also love little things like when we were organizing and starting to clear through things in the garage door opened by itself. Like I
You're
wasn't
kidding.
in there. It was people that had come, or they didn't even know where the button was for the garage. So they didn't open it. I was in the house. I didn't open it. That has never happened. So I just feel like that's fun for me. I feel like I give that kind of moment meaning, and
Mhm.
maybe it's little, maybe it's not, but yeah, I love that kind of thing. But those feel maybe bigger. I'm going to give some thought too, so to some even smaller type moments that I just love the image of that dog moving to the music. So cute.
Cute and had a red sweater
Now,
on.
did you think
Oh,
that was a sign from Steve, Tanya, when the garage door opened by itself? Or-
yes, I did.
yeah,
And I
Love it.
do. And, is that real? I don't know, but I enjoy it. So I think
mm,
those kind of moments really are fun for me when I can sort of play around with that. So, yeah,
I love it. Call it in. They
yeah,
will come.
yeah,
I
yeah.
I'm thinking when I wasn't sure what I was thinking, Tanya, until you said what you said, but like I have this thing with dimes, and
Mm,
it's real, and I do believe that my mother sends me dimes. I have a whole story that we don't have time for, but I will share it someday.
okay.
And it just, yeah. So it was like I was feeling sad and confused, blah blah blah. So I made this thing. I said, "Mama, if this is really you, send me a dime and make sure it's face up."
Uh,
It wasn't even within 10 minutes, and my there was a dime face up, and I found it. So now I have a jar that my kids got me for Christmas as dimes from my angel, and it's on my dresser. And so when I they just pop up at the greatest times, and
mm.
that's my when I'm like, oh, and then I get this dime. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, I'm doing
uh, I love that.
Mm.
like
Yeah. I'm
affirmation.
thinking I never see dimes. So the fact that you've seen so many,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
yeah.
And at
Yeah.
times too. That's how That's how.
Yeah. Wow. Nice.
Well, I was trying to rally for a long day I had yesterday where I was already kind of coming into it feeling a little bit tired, and but I'm doing massage at a independent living assisted living place that I've for 4 months in a row I've been going once a month for one client. And finally, yesterday I had 3 clients, so 2 new
Ooh.
ones plus my regular client.
Nice.
And there were a lot of like little inconveniences and things that made things take longer and barriers and whatever, but it was just like I loved all 3 of my clients, the one that I've been seeing for a while and the 2 new ones, and just the one of them was just so kind of sentimental because he was like admiring on my tattoos, and I was telling him the stories behind some of the tattoos. And then he was just like, when I talked about us hiking the Grand Canyon with our dad and my sister Tanya for many years together, and that last time he had hiked the Grand Canyon he was 80, and so he was just so heartfelt but with my stories. And so I just felt this connection with him. Um, and then I had this other client who was a professor, and he had a PhD, so he was a doctor, and it was like he had 2 similar things that were like one that was similar to my mom and that something else that was similar to my dad. So it was just like it was really cool to connect with him. And I don't usually talk during the whole massage, but sometimes feel like maybe some of the geriatric population people like to sort of have the company and the conversation. And I mean, the first client, actually, he told me he was a CEO and had over 300 people working for him. So it was just like, and he was talking so much in the present tense of like, oh, well, I'm a CEO and I have 300 people working for me. But meanwhile, he's in this assisted living place, and he talked about also being retired. But anyway, just so I came away from this experience in such a good mood. Like I just really helped my boost my mood, and I'm like, this is what I'm doing this for. And it just really, like, what could have been very depleting was just so uplifting and energizing for me.
Love it.
Love it too.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, I guess we've gone a tiny bit over with our cute small group today, but there's always so much so did we lose? Oh, I thought we lost Carrie for a second.
Oh no,
There's
I'm
always
here.
so much
Okay.
to share. I love sharing all of this. And Carrie, thank you for putting together such a beautiful
You're welcome.
sort of collection for us to really connect to on this
Yeah,
journey.
absolutely.
I don't think Carrie and I have settled yet
I
on
was just gonna say,
what
what are we chatting
I
about today?
know. We're debating about 2 different things were in discussion. And so I guess should we just say stay tuned, or do you want to, well, we kind of have to end, I guess. I was going to say we could plant the seeds of the 2 things we were thinking about, or just wait.
I feel like plant the seed.
Okay. So we were talking about one option was Carrie and I were both going to pick a few like Instagram accounts that we feel are inspirational that we can sort of look at together and say what draws Carrie and I to the ones that we're going to gather. So we would make some suggestions. That's one possibility. And our thoughts are to do both, but we would just decide which would be next time. And then the other is kind of to switch gears a little bit and do a little chat GPT exploration together because Carrie and I both can see what a helpful tool it is, and we can sort of talk about. I feel like we can do some real-time stuff with that, which would
Yeah,
be really fun
for
with
sure.
that. So we can talk a little bit about, is there something that we can help you bring into your life that helps with this part of the journey? So those are the 2 things. Seed planted. We'll keep you posted. Anything else, Carrie, that I forgot?
No,
So
no, I
whichever
think
one you do, you can do the other next time too.
Correct.
yes.
Yeah, we'll figure that. Yeah, we'll decide.
You're ahead of.
Yep.
What's that?
Yes.
I said you're ahead of schedule that way.
That's right. That's right. So, all right. Well, lovely to see you all. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Bye.
Okay.
We'll share the recording.
Thank
I'll
you
share with
guys.
you. Yes, absolutely. Let us know if you need anything.
Yeah.
And Jamie, I'll share the link with you for the book.
And
Okay,
yeah,
sounds
Y'all,
good.
okay,
thank
cool.
you.
Okay,
Bye,
thanks.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.